Life is crazy and meaningful at once. I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. One finds destiny on the path one takes to avoid it. A man who has not passed through the inferno of his passions has never overcome them. Even a happy life cannot be without a measure of darkness, and the word happy would lose its meaning if it were not balanced by sadness. Wholeness is not achieved by cutting off a portion of one's being, but by the integration of the contraries. To ask the right question is already half of the solution of a problem. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul. Nothing has a stronger influence psychologically on their environment and especially on their children than the unlived life of the parent. Normality is a fine ideal for those who have no imagination. Embrace your grief, for there your soul will grow. Art is a kind of innate drive that seizes a human being and makes him its instrument. To perform this difficult office, it is sometimes necessary for him to sacrifice happiness and everything that makes life worth living for the ordinary human being. The highest, most decisive experience is to be alone with oneself. You must be alone to find out what supports you. When you find that you cannot support yourself, only this experience can give you an indestructible foundation. The difference between a good life and a bad life is how well you walk through the fire. The most important question anyone can ask is, what myth am I living? The whole point of Jesus' life was not that we should become exactly like him, but that we should become ourselves in the same way he became himself. Jesus was not the great exception, but the great example. The descent into the depths always seems to precede the ascent. We don't so much solve our problems as we outgrow them. We add capacities and experiences that eventually make us bigger than the problems. Individualization does not shut one out from the world, but gathers the world to oneself. The shoe that fits one person pinches another. There is no recipe for living that suits all cases. The dream is the small hidden door in the deepest and most intimate sanctum of the soul. The meaning and design of a problem seem not to lie in its solution, but in our working at it incessantly. The most intense conflicts, if overcome, leave behind a sense of security and calm that is not easily disturbed. It is these intense conflicts and their conflagration which are needed to produce valuable and lasting results. Neurosis is the suffering of a soul which has not discovered its meaning. Find out what a person fears most, and that is where he will develop next. Who has fully realized that history is not contained in thick books, but lives in our very blood? When goals go, meaning goes. When meaning goes, purpose goes. When purpose goes, life goes dead in our hands. I've realized that somebody who's tired and needs a rest and goes on working all the same is a fool. The acceptance of oneself is the essence of the whole moral problem and the epitome of a whole outlook on life.